Your Eminence, the Papal Nuncio to the Republic of Kenya, Your Eminence Cardinal Njue, Your Graces, my Lord Bishops, the clergy, fellow Catholics and Christians here gathered, tumsifu Yesu Kristo. Milele na milele. Asanteni sana. We gather here today as people from different backgrounds, different religions, to remember and to celebrate the life of a man who truly walked in the path of Jesus. A man who, despite his high position, did not walk in and amongst the high and mighty in the world, but rather, like Jesus, chose to walk amongst the poor and those most in need. A true lesson, a true example of what we all call servant leadership. He chose to serve, not to be served. He chose to deliver, to save, not to be saved. I think many of you will always recall his one statement everywhere he went. He just said simply, just pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for him to be able to do what he was doing. He was able to extend beyond his religion. He was able to see us all as humanity. He didn't pick and choose. And even the most vulnerable and the most outcast, he was able to ensure that they were given solace and comfort. Truly a man who walked in a path of giving dignity to human life, regardless of whichever condition one found themselves in. I had the pleasure and honor to meet him twice, and the memories of those meetings remain very dear and close to me. And I can stand as somebody who can testify to his level of humility and concern. Without mentioning any names, I remember when he was here in Nairobi, those in the diplomatic service will know that usually when there is a head of state, of which he was one, or a head of government, there would be a one-on-one session that you would exchange, a tete-a-tete, before you would get into main meetings and so on and so forth. So we were sitting in my office with His Holiness and just talking about the things that we needed to talk about. This was an office where I had met very many different people, you know, from Obama to leaders from all over the world. And when we finished we were now to go to the meeting, somebody had really requested that they would like a moment with His Holiness. I didn't know how to put this because... Anyway, I decided I was going to put the message across. He said, oh, no problem. So I invited the person over to my office. Before we moved out, sat, and I went back to my seat. There was silence in the room, so nobody's talking. And His Holiness turned and looked at me and told me, I thought you said you wanted to talk to me. So for the first time as president, another head of state threw me out of my own office, which I found to be quite incredible. But the most important thing was not even that. The most important thing to me was that here was a man, a leader of 1 billion plus people across the world. But this person who he chose to engage with, he followed up with them even after he left Kenya, communicating with a person, engaging with a person. What greater show of humility can you ask for a man than that? That he can lead 1,000, 1 million, and 1 billion people, but he still remembers the one lost sheep and will always go out in search of it. I think that is a lesson for all of us. It definitely was a lesson for me, and I shall always remember the greatness of that man. And may the Almighty God rest our father's soul in eternal peace, and may he give us in the days to come another father who shall be able to continue on the journey that he set forth. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki, Mungu awalinde.